Hi! It's a beautiful windy day, so let me show you around my little garden. So let's start over here. This is the oldest plant in the lot. As in, sa sobrang tanda niya, we had to trim off a lot of dried stems dito po sa gitnang part. The other day, medyo marami po kaming natanggal na very dry now, which is not doing anything anymore for the plant, so we had to remove it. As you can see, it's very old na because it has been in my family for several decades. I'm older by about 5 years. Kaya ganyan na po siya kataas. Hello Kitty Cat. I remember waiting for these plants to bloom around Christmas time. Ganito po yung flowers niya. Pag nag-open po yan, parang starbursts. Para siyang yung sparkler ba, yung binibili ng araw na nasa tingting na kulay silver. Parang sparkling little lights yung flowers niya. Kaya ang ganda-ganda po pagmasdan pag marami. While here is some plant or a mini tree that I am not that familiar with. According to the app that I downloaded, this is a cacao tree. Pero I can't remember planting a cacao seed anywhere. So, let's see in a few days kung same pa rin yung sasabihin ng app. Well, this vine is a weed. But it's up for contention kasi hinahayaan ko muna siyang mag-flourish bago ko bunutin. Pinag-iinitan na po siya ni Pogs as well as this one kasi weed na daw sila. And since they're kind of just taking up space and the nutrients of the soil from the other plants, gusto na po siyang bunutan ni Pogs. So, wait lang na sa konting panahon pa before I decide. So, here is a cutting from the original Mayana plant as well as the other ones because this bed of soil is kind of like the Stickem all-you-can soil. Dito ko po nilalagay yung mga cuttings or the other experiment like that. And let's go to this side, which I'm sure you are all familiar with because ito po ang ating mga Mayana na na-feature doon sa previous video. Ayan na po, ang dami na po nila, so very colorful, just like that. Ito lang po yung medyo masela na part sa Mayana that you have to water them regularly. Otherwise, magiging droopy po yung stems and yung leaves. Parang unti-unting na will wither. So, you have to water them regularly. Ito naman po is our langka tree. Our jackfruit tree. Ito naman po is our jackfruit tree. On the other side is a lemon tree, which I hope along with the langka will bear fruit in about a few years. Give or take 5 years. There used to be a papaya tree in the middle. But since it died, binunot na po ni Pogs yung puno. Kasi hindi naman po siya naging successful sa pag-bear ng fruit. Hindi po nahihinog, lagi pong maliit lang. Ito naman po ang ating mga lantana. Hindi po lanta. Ang pangalan po talaga ng flowers niya ay lantana. There. Yun po yung flowers niya. Oh. And just like this one. Napaka-colorful po ng flowers nito because it starts off as orange, yellow, then it will go to light pink to a darker shade of pink before malanta na talaga siya. is another cutting of Mayana. Ito po yung mini rose na mahilig din po mag-flower. While there, ay, syempre, Mayana na naman. Here is a bed of soil where I placed the cuttings from the bamboo tree. The Japanese bamboo. Kasi meron po akong mga nakita while trimming several branches na parang ganito. Like that. Na parang it has root. Yan. Parang may ugat na po. Like that. So, I'm experimenting on this. Binababad ko po sa tubig. And hopefully, mag-grow ng more roots. While the other ones I already placed on a bed of soil. Let's just hope na magtuloy-tuloy ang pag-grow nila. Ito naman pong medyo papansin is our citronella plant. Because, as you know, if you have a garden, you also have a battalion of mosquitoes. Na talaga namang pagpipilsahan ang legs and thighs mo habang nag-garden ka. So, better to have these around. Of course, hindi naman niya totally ma-eliminate lahat ng lamok. So, you have to have several. Here naman is a variety of a pine tree. Sturdy po siya. Medyo nakakatusok po yung leaves. Minsan nga po yung appearance niya is quite parang artificial. Pero totoo po yan. Here naman is a plant that I refer to by a certain name. Pero hindi po talaga siya yung pangalan. But because it reminds me of a certain ship. You can ask Andy kung ano yon. But I'm not saying that aloud sa video. Kasi censored. It's a pea plant. I'm just saying it's a pea plant. I call it a pea plant. And dito sa side naman na to is an avocado tree. There. Ito rin po, avocado. Because of the limited space, it cannot grow more than that. So, we need to plant them here sa bigger planter. So, it can flourish more. It can grow more like these santan branches. This santan plant na medyo wild na po ang pag-grow. It's growing everywhere. Hindi po namin to tinitrim. I just cut off some of the stems para i-replant, pero yung iti-trim mo siya for aesthetic purposes. No, inayaan ko na lang po siyang mag-grow whichever way it wants. Diba? Para mas natural looking. Basta grow lang ng grow. On the other side, let's begin here. These are mini orchids given to me by my ninang. And nakakatuwa nga po this time around kasi ang dami po nilang flowers. Ito po, may mga bagong magbo-bloom. Beside it is tarragon. Now you can place in a hot cup of water. It has a sweet smell similar to star anise. Pwede siyang parang tea. Sa tabi niya ay Italian oregano and rosemary and even more mini orchids at may sile. Look, may bunga na po ang sile ni Pops. Sa kabilang side naman po ay ang ating basil plant. And here is another plant, another pot of Italian oregano and rosemary na masarap pong ilagay sa pasta and pizza. Lalo na ngayon, sa bagong paborito ng squad, yung homemade bread na nilalagyan ko ng basil, oregano, and rosemary. Lagi nilang nire-request yun as if madaling gumawa ng bread. Diba, Dada? Quiet! You're interrupting my video. And as you can see here, nag-start na po mag-flower ang ating basil dahil medyo old na siya. And what you do, pag dried na po ang mga flowers, kunin niyo po yung mga seeds sa loob. And once you get the seeds out, you can plant them immediately sa soil. Just like this one. Yan, nag-sprout na po yung mini plants. I'm replanting na kasi yung mga original basil plants ay medyo oldies na and it's starting to dry up, so we need to plant a new batch. Like here, you can use the egg tray as a seedling pod. Ito po yung ibang cuttings ng mayana na nilagay po natin sa separate plastic pot. So, pag merong gustong humingi, you can just PM me. Pero, syempre, para mabigyan po ang marami, 1 lang po each ha. Eto po, dito naman tayo sa experiment ni Pogs na I don't know kung anong klaseng plant ang tutubo dito. While here are more stem cuttings. And on this table, I'm sure you are all familiar again with my collection of cacti and succulents. Ganito lang po magparami niyan. As I've told you before, kukuha lang ng dahon, malinis po na pagtanggal, and then you will just place them on a bed of potting soil and they will establish roots. After they have formed roots, magkakaroon po ng mini plants just like that. At pagka okay na po ang mga roots niya, stable na, you can replant them on a separate pot like that. Pero you can also just leave them be. Dedmahin nyo lang. Sa sarili po nila, dadami sila like this Echeveria. See, dati isa lang yan. Ngayon, marami na pong nag-sprout sa tabi-tabi niya. But, of course, hindi nyo pwedeng pabayaan na ganyan lang yan. You have to take them out slowly then because nag-aagawan na po sila doon sa nutrients ng soil. So, you have to remove the other ones para mas marami po ang ma-absorb nilang nutrients. Hindi po sila mag-agawan. As you can see, may mga ugat na po. So, madali na po itong palakihin. Ilipat nyo lang po na nalagyan at mabubuhay na po siya. Ito pong black prints natin, see? Yan na po. 2 na po sila. Actually, 3 na po yan. I just removed the other one at nilagay ko na po sa ibang potting soil. So again, ayan po ang ating cacti and succulents. Moving on sa kabilang side, we have fern. Actually, yung fern na yan, muntik na yan madeds kasi pinag-iinitan siya dati ni Pogs. Gustong bunutin because he thought it was weed. Not the weed you smoke and nakakahay, pero yung weed na sort of a parasite that steals nutrients from other plants. So, gusto niya alisin, pero pinigilan ko siya. So, look at it na. O, diba? Ang ganda. And here, gumawa ako ng makeshift na some sort of a DIY bee bath. Because, minsan, may mga dumadalaw na bees na umiinom sa puddle of water sa floor. So, yan, gumawa na po ako ng inuman nila. And beside it is a gumamela plant. This one is a gumamela plant. This one is also a gumamela plant. And nakita ko rin sa inyo, dun sa isang side pa po, na meron pa rin po akong gumamela plant. Yan. This one is the multi-petal gumamela. If you grew up in the 80s, I'm sure you are familiar with this kind of gumamela. Kasi ito po yung variant na usually ninanenok sa kapitbahay and you pound into a mush with the leaves. Tapos dadagdagan nyo po ng soap at may instant palobo ka na. Ang palobo po kasi nung araw ay ginagawa, hindi po binibili. So this one, this gumamela is a 5-petal gumamela pero mini version siya. It's a lighter shade of pink. Hello! It's a lighter shade of pink. Imagine nyo na lang because hindi na po siya nagpubulaklak for a long time. While this gumamela is a regular sized one, this has color yellow petals with a magenta middle. Kaya lang again, they sort of bloom once a year lang. That one tried to flower one, kaya lang namatay. Lately lang nahulog yung buko. So I think they're going to skip 2020 altogether. Hindi sila mamumulaklak and I don't blame them. Ito naman po ang ating pandan plant, which I think needs to be repotted kasi nag-aagawa na po sila sa place dito sa isang pot. Nag-uugat na siya. We use this when we cook kakanin because it gives off a wonderfully sweet aroma. And there are more mayanas here. There. Again, many roses na tuyo na po yung blooms. Pero masipag naman po yung mag-produce ng flowers. So, in a few days, meron na naman pong bagong mag-sprout. Here is another santan plant. But this one has a deeper shade of orange kind of flowers. Ito naman po, itong napaka-showy na plant na to is the one that's always placed in bouquets or floral arrangements. Pero imbis na itapon po, alam ko, most of you, tinatapon nyo lang yon. Si Pogs, hindi po niya yan tinatapon. Tinatanim po niya. And look at how long the stem is. Ibig sabihin, matagal na po ito. Marami pa po yan around the garden. Just like this one. And these ones. So, diba? Sipag nila. While here we have the bougainvillea tree. Just like the santan tree, the santan plant. Ayan na po. Wild na po ang pag-grow niya. It's growing everywhere. And we cannot contain it anymore kasi sturdy na yung stems at matinik. So, careful na lang po pag nilalapitan kasi baka makatusok. Eto. This was kind of a surprise. Kasi, dati puro leaves lang siya. So, I thought it was just another of the filler plants. Kaya lang when I downloaded this app that identifies plants, I tried to find out what this is. And surprisingly, sabi, bird of paradise daw. I don't recall buying any bird of paradise, so antay-antay lang. And eventually, na-confirm nga na bird of paradise siya because of its flower. So, whoever po ang nagbigay, thank you for this beautiful plant. Here naman is the newest member of the family, the philodendron. Now, I'm still finding out ways on how to propagate it from the internet through video tutorials. Ito naman po ang aming munting halaman, the golden shower, na lagi pong may bulaklak. It provides a pop of beautiful bright yellow color. And now we're looking at the money tree na dati ay nakasiksik lang po sa maliit na pot pero ngayon nailipat na namin sa larger pot. Kaya nagpo-flourish na po siya at malago na po ang kanyang mga dahon. Unlike before na hindi po dumadami yung leaves because they dry immediately. Madali pong matuyo, nag-yellow, then nagbo-brown, then nagbe-brittle, then nagpo-fall off. Because konti lang po yung nutrients na na-absorb papunta sa leaves dahil napaka-cramp na po nung kanyang roots doon sa maliit na pot. So, thankfully ngayon, na-repot siya. Salamat, Dada! Kaya, ayun, maganda na nga po ngayon ang ating money tree. While here naman is the discovery of the year. Dati po, nasa sulok lang yan. So, we had to pull it out very carefully. Alam niyo kung bakit? Matinik. Everywhere tinik. Sa pinaka-stem niya, maraming tinik. Like that. And also, sa leaves niya, puno rin ng tinik. Oh. So, you cannot come near it. Kasi matutusok ka. Just like what happens to me every time. So, yan ang ating thorny fern. I don't know the real name, pero I refer to it as thorny fern. Over there is the pine tree na medyo malaki na. And beside it is some kind of plant that I cannot identify. It has very big leaves na lumaki na po siya ng ganyan without us knowing what it is. So there, another filler plant. We also have myrtle flowers here, kaya lang hindi na po niya season, so no blooms na ako mapapakita. While here naman po, you can see the vine from there. That's our trumpet flower. Yan, yung vine na yan. Goes around. Kaya lang, again, today, wala pong blooms yung ating trumpet flower. So, trumpet plant lang po siya ngayon. Dahil wala po siyang flower. And we go around here. Dito sa dulo, malapit yung ikabod. So, we can see some more filler plants here. Yung isa, sobrang tangkad na. Mas matangkad na sa akin. Kasi, palagay ko, ito yung mga naunang tinanim ni Pogs. See how tall that is? And around it is a Madagascar periwinkle. But I'm sorry to say again, wala po siyang flower ngayon. Pero if it has a bloom, it's a deeper shade of pink. Here are more filler plants. And another pot of citronella para mabugaw po ang mga lamok, hindi po kagatin si ikabot at cupcake. Ito po ang ating geranium aurelia na pinaparami po natin by stem cutting. Also, ito naman po is another variety of santan, pero mas mahihain po siya dun sa dalawa. This one has white flowers. I'm thinking of moving it to a sunnier location kasi dito po medyo hindi masyado direct sunlight. Kailangan po ng santan direct sunlight para prosper yung blooms. Yan, insulin plant that I have cut and replanted. Ito po is, I'm sure it's either a pink bell or a yellow bell that was given by our neighbor. Itong plant na to, it has an interesting story. Ninenok po namin yan sa isang parking area ng mall. Bago po kami umalis, pinunot po namin yan. Ninenok na. So, ayan na. Medyo matagal na po yung pagnenok namin, kaya medyo marami na siya. Tanda na rin siya. Nag-multiply na. Over here is a spider plant na medyo matagal na rin sa family namin, kaya nagpa-flower na rin po siya. Nakaroon na siya ng mga bulaklak. And here, you guessed it, another Mayana. Ito, medyo madungis po. Kasi, we discovered this along with this plant, sharing a single pot. Kaya, hiniwalay po namin na lalagyan para medyo mag-prosper siya ng konti and maka-absorb siya ng mas maraming nutrients. So, hopefully, unti-unti nang mawala yung sakit niya dahil I think it has something that's making it weak. Sana, because of the new environment, mag-grow na siya ng mas maganda. This insulin plant over here was gifted to Mom by Pastor Vic. Dati maliit lang po yan, ngayon kalaki na po. And according to the internet, soon magkakaroon din po siya ng sarili niyang bulaklak. Antay-antay lang po natin. And as I have learned from taking care of it, gusto niya nang palagi siyang dinidilagan. Gusto niya ng plenty of water para hindi po mamutla yung mga dahon. On this side, more Mayana. Favorite natin ng Mayana kasi alam ng Mayana, very easy to grow. And they grow very fast. That you have to cut them and replant them in another pot. Otherwise, tataas po sila and they will start to droop and they will start to interrupt the growth of the other plants around it. So you have to trim them regularly. Sa harapan niya ay ang ating cute na mga aglaonema, na usually they are indoor plants, pero pag nasa shaded part siya outside of the house, mas vibrant yung pink colors niya. Pero if you move them indoors, maganda pa rin ang condition niya, kaya lang mas green siya. Mas dominant yung green color niya. I'm still working on a way to propagate them. Kasi yung iba sa kanila medyo old na, kaya long na yung stem. So I'm thinking of cutting these and replanting them. While beside it is our Calathea peacock. There. Very beautiful din yung plant na to. Kasi as you can see, green yung other side ng leaves. And then if you go this position, ang ganda po nung change ng colors, diba? Kaya lang, unfortunately, hindi po siya mapopropagate by leaf cutting. Kasi, hindi daw enough yung structure ng leaves to form another plant. You have to propagate this by separating the roots. And, hindi po ako marunong sa ganun. So, I'd rather not risk that. Kesa naman, maapektuhan yung plant. See, may mga umuusbong pa po na bagong leaves. You just have to carefully tend to this kasi pag meron na po kayong nakikitang nag-wither na leaves, before po totally mabulok, you have to snip it off na para hindi po maapektuhan yung other leaves. There. Sa kadaldalan ko, medyo hinihingal na po ako. And itong hanging plant na to, this is a very hard to kill plant. You know why? Napabayaan na dati yan. Kasi, the usual condition of hanging plants, pag nagdidilig ka, minsan you forget them. Kasi nasa taas sila. So, minsan, matagal siya naliglig. Medyo natuyo siya ng konti. And what we did was we cut off the healthy parts, pinalik lang namin sa taas, and then voila! Ayan na uli siya. And you know, yung iba pong nahuhulog, accidentally nahulog po sa isang pot, and ayan na po siya. Nag-grow na po siya ng sarili niya. O, diba? Survivor. Having a garden has its own disadvantages because you are susceptible to certain kinds of pests. Like the other day, merong big rat na nagtatago in this part of the garden. Kinakalkal yung soil. It can also be a little bit daunting because you have to tend to the plants regularly. But the effort, the time, and the care you have invested are all very worth it. Kasi plants are not just pleasing to the eyes, but they also provide a certain kind of warmth and very relaxing atmosphere all around the place. Yun na lang pong fresh air, lalo na po pagka bagong dilig, especially the herbs, ang bango-bango po ng paligid. And of course, bonus points na lang din po when you see butterflies roaming around freely, kasama na rin po yung certain types of bees, and minsan na rin po yung makukulit na birds. O, diba? Kaya lang minsan inaagawan nila ako ng basil seeds. Pero okay lang. And also nga pala, it is not necessary that you have to have a green thumb. Because I'm sure I do not have one. Marami na rin po ako naging casualties sa pagga-garden. Marami na rin pong namaalam na mga halaman. Pero, they leave good memories behind. Kaya, thank you for watching. Thank you for taking time to join me in my little tour of the garden. Take care, stay safe, and God bless. Kasi kadalasan dito pupunta yung butterflies. Ang ganda po tignan. O, diba? Don't mind my dogs. Usually, pagkaganda nag-garden ako, nakatali po sila, kaya medyo papansin. Nakakaloka mag-video. Busy-busy mga tao. Oh, nakakaloka.
Hello, Ikabod. How are we today? Nice ba nakatali ka? Kasi makulit ka eh. So, you have to be nakatali muna, ha? I love you. Kiss, kiss. Kiss, kiss. Kiss, kiss. Kiss, mommy. You smell bad. Ang ganda-ganda naman ni Cupcake. Ang ganda-ganda naman yan.
O, ikaw. Ikaw. Isa ka pa. Manaktak naman kayo, no? Grabe. Masyadong mahiyain. Sige na. Laklak naman dyan. Sino maganda? O, diba? So pretty. So pretty. Hi, Kabod. Hi, Kabod. Hi, Kabod.